Good morning. My name is Michael Williams, Chair of the California Board of Accountancy's Qualifications Committee. Please be advised that the virtual meeting is being conducted consistent with the provisions of Government Code Section 11133. Members of the public interested in participating in the meeting must join the WebEx meeting. Information and instructions about how to join are posted on our website. All lines are currently on mute. When we come to parts of the agenda where we will ask for public comment, I will announce public comment and ask the moderator to provide instructions and open up the public comment feature. 5 minutes will be allotted to each individual providing comments. Before we begin, a few virtual meeting reminders for committee members. First, if you wish to speak, please use the raised hand feature and wait to be called upon. Second, please speak directly into the microphone on the device you're using and keep the microphone muted when not speaking. Lastly, please keep your camera turned on. Michael will take roll to establish a quorum. Once your name is called, please unmute your microphone and respond, and then mute your microphone.
Thank you. Michael Williams,
Here, present.
Timothy Jones,
Present.
Pradeep Burhiraja,
Present.
Brad Holsworth,
Present.
Angela Hanzik,
Present.
Hanzhao Meng,
Present.
Jose Palma,
Present.
Nasi Rossinian.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Michael. Moderator, please introduce yourself and provide any additional instructions related to today's meeting.
This is the moderator. Thank you. I would like to go quickly over the Q&A, the question and answer instructions. So when the committee chair requests public comments, I will turn on the Q&A if we do have members of the public. At this time, we have no members of the public. So whenever you open up and we continue not to have any members of the public, I'll just say there are no members of the public instead of opening for comments. But if we did have members of the public, I'll open the Q&A and then I'll give instructions at that time. Thank you.
Thank you. I will begin by reading the mission statement. The CBA's mission is to protect consumers by ensuring only qualified licensees practice public accountancy in accordance with the established professional standards. This mission is derived from the statutory requirement that protection of the public shall be the highest priority for the California Board of Accountancy in exercising its licensing, regulatory, and disciplinary functions. Whenever the protection of the public is inconsistent with the other interests sought to be promoted, the protection of the public shall be paramount. Moving on to the agenda, we will begin with agenda item number 1, public comment for items not on the agenda.
This is the moderator. There are no members of the public.
Thank you. I will now turn, okay, so there are no members public. Then we will go to moving to agenda item 2. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion for the QC to approve the October 20, 2021 QC meeting minutes. If any member would like to make a motion, please use the raise hand feature.
This is Nazi. I move to approve.
Thank you. If any member would like to second the motion, please use the hand raise feature.
This is Jose Palma, I second.
Thank you. Are there any additional comments or discussion from committee members? If so, please use the raise hand feature. Okay, I see none. If there are any members of the public present, please open for public comment.
This
I
is
do
the
not- Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, there are no members of the public.
Right. I didn't know if I was still supposed to say that or not for purposes. Okay. I will now turn it over to Michael to call for the vote. Once he calls your name, please unmute your microphone.
Michael Williams,
Approve.
Timothy Jones,
Approve.
Pradeep Burhiraja,
Abstain, I was not present at the meeting.
Brad Holsworth,
Approve.
Angela Hanzik,
Abstain.
Hanzhao Meng,
Approve.
Jose Palma,
Approved.
Nasir Rasassian,
Approve.
we have 7 votes approving, 2 abstentions, and 2 not present.
Thank you, Michael. Next is agenda item 3, the report of the CBA liaison. I'd like to introduce member Yan Tu as the newly appointed Southern Region CBA liaison. Thank you for joining us today. I will now turn it over to member Tu to provide the members with an overview of the recent CBA meetings.
Thank you, Chair. This is Ian too. It's nice to meet everybody. I'm looking forward to one of these days meeting you all in person. And I also wanted to make sure to thank you all for volunteering to be on this committee as well as your service. Yes, we do have a couple of meetings. The last time we reported out back to you. And at the November CBA meeting, the CBA approved a comment letter to the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, or AICPA, supporting the institute changes to the statute for performing and reporting on peer reviews. Next, the CPA directs staff to work with President Savoy on establishing a task force to evaluate and the attest and general accounting experience requirements. The task force will be comprised of 2 to 4 CPA members, a member representing the accounting professions, a National Association of State Board of Accountancy member, a consumer representative member, a member with a CPA license issue with general experiences, and a member with academia. The CPA appointed Michael Williams, CPA, to serve as the QC chair and Timothy Jones, CPA, as the vice chairs for a 1-year term effective January 1st, 2022. Congratulations, gentlemen. Also, during the November meeting, the CPA elected Michael Savoy, CPA, as president, Mark Silverman as vice president, and Katrina Salazar, CPA, as secretary treasurer. Now on to our January CPA board meeting. The CPA approved proposed amendment to CPA regulation section 2.8 to allow for applicant to obtain and submit certified transcript directly to CPA with their respective application and create a new method for educational institutions to submit transcript electronically to CPA. Also, CPA approves recently modified text to propose regulation to amend CPA regulation section 19 regarding practice privilege forms for individuals. The modified text include references to fee being set at $0 and eliminated any unnecessary and duplicative statutory text found in a proposed form. The CBA also withdraw the rulemaking package associated with the proposed adoption of CBA Regulation 54.3 and 54.4 regarding sales, transfer, or discontinuance of a licensee's practice. Due to the volume of comment received, the CPA directed staff to work with the commenters, Cal CPA, and other stakeholders to ensure the final regulatory text provide an effective framework for the sales, transfer, or discontinuance of a licensed practice. And the CPA also reviewed a proposed legislation and took position on 2 bills. You can view the CPA website for information on the bills the CPA is following. And lastly, the next CPA meeting will be held via video conference on March 24th and 25th, 2022. That will be the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. And are there any member comments or discussion for member 2? If so, please use the raise hand feature. Okay, I do not see any hands raised. There are no members of the public present, so we will continue on. Thank you, member 2, for attending today's meeting and for providing a report on the recent CBA activities. Moving on to agenda item 4, the report on activities for the initial licensing unit. Chief Michelle Center, please begin your presentation.
Thank you. First, let me start off by welcoming member 2. Thank you for joining us and being one of our liaisons for our committee. Welcoming our new chair, Michael Williams, and our new vice chair, Timothy Jones. Great to have you, and looking forward to another good year for our committee. I'd also like to welcome. I'm sure he deserves a thank you too for jumping in today. Michael Lieberman, he's our new manager for our initial licensing unit. So Michael came to the board in December, and he's had some prior state service in the assembly and worked as a legislative analyst also. So welcome, Michael Lieberman, and he will be a great resource for all of you, as well as his staff person, Katrina, who unfortunately is not able to join us today, but wanted to make sure that I gave all of them welcomes and appreciation. So let me continue on with my item. So beginning with 4A, you'll find attached our licensing activity report, or the LAR. The one that you have covers July 1 through September 30th. It provides an overview of the activities in the licensing division that were presented to the board in November. You guys were just too close to our January meeting for us to get this updated. So it is what was reported to the board in November. First off, I really want to emphasize the success of the board's online license application. We launched that online licensing application, and we now have about 89% of our initial license applications coming in through that online system instead of paper. So that's a great thing as we're trying to go green, right? Now, if you want to turn your attention to Table 4, I want to point out of the approximately 4,000 CPA licenses that were issued in this time period, a little over 1,200 were issued with the authority to sign reports on attest engagements. At the QC meeting that we had in October, it was requested by one of the committee members that we come back and provide some information on the CPA license issued with attest authority, and whether or not those were being approved via conversion applications was the question. So of the 1,255 licenses that were issued during this time period with attest authority, only 101 were granted via that conversion application. So it is a very small percentage that are using that, that specific process. So a board priority continues to be the processing of our applications within 30 days. We are well below that goal right now. We're processing at about 13 days. So we're doing awesome in that regard. So I will turn it back over to the chair. I'm happy to answer questions. And Chair Williams, if you will please, when you do get to the point of public comment, hand it over to Elizabeth to ask her if there are members of the public. That would be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And are there any member comments for Michelle Center on item B? If so, please use the raise hand feature. Excuse me, that is item 4A. So is this where I defer to the moderator if there, I'm so, okay, thanks.
This is the moderator. There are no members of the public.
Thank you.
So Chair Williams, I'll go ahead and just continue on with B.
Thank you.
Item 4B covers our QC subcommittee meetings that are held. Since the last public business meeting of this committee, which was in October, we have held 2 virtual subcommittee meetings, one on October 20th and the other on December 8th. Of the total 10 appearances, 7 were Section 69 reviews and 3 were personal appearances. 7 applicants were recommended for approval and 3 were recommended for deferral. I'll now turn it back over to you, Chair Williams. I think you're on mute.
I am. Thank you. Are there any member comments for Michelle on item 4B? If so, please use the raise hand feature. Okay. And then are there any members of the public present?
There are no members.
Okay.
Sorry, no members.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. So we will move on to item 4C. Suzanne Gracia, please begin your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
You're welcome.
For this item, I am providing an update on the activities related to the Business Modernization Project. I recently provided a similar update to CBA members last week at the January board meeting. So the Business Modernization Initiative, which I will refer to as BizMod, was launched in November 2017 by the Department of Consumer Affairs. The goal of BizMod is to develop and deploy new information technology systems to streamline licensee and applicant experiences by automating key program activities. It was announced at the March 2021 CBA meeting. The CBA would start a pilot project focusing on a subset of BizMod. The benefits of a pilot approach is that it reduces significant impact on the CBA's budget by allowing more focus and control over budget and reserve levels. Additionally, by dividing up the work into logical pieces, the CBA can incrementally roll out the software and continue to identify modules that can migrate to the new system over multiple software releases over time, as opposed to all at once, and is less disruptive to CBA operations and staff. The pilot project began in October 2021 and leverages the Connect platform, which is Inlumen software branded by DCA, and is currently being used successfully by the Board of Professional Engineers, Land Surveyors, and Geologists. the California Acupuncture Board, the Board of Chiropractic Examiners, and the Bureau for Private and Post-Secondary Education. The pilot focuses on 2 CBA product increments, the first being automating the license renewal process, and second, the submission of online complaints. Initial functionality in the Connect system will allow online CPA license renewal and payment, validation of continuing education, and correspondence between the licensee and CBA staff. The anticipated launch date for this product is March 2022. The pilot project will then move on to the onto the development of an online complaint process with an anticipated launch date in May 2022. Enhancements to the Connect system based on input from stakeholders and CBA staff may be made after both products have been launched, and this will occur during the maintenance and operations phase of the pilot and is scheduled to be completed by October 2022. This concludes my presentation, and I'd like to turn it back to the chair, and we'll do my best to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Suzanne. Are there any member comments for Suzanne on item 4C? If so, please use the raise hand feature. I do not see any hands raised.
Chair Williams, I'm sure you just didn't see my hand there. I did want to add that if any of our committee members do have a renewal date in March, we would love for you to reach out to us so that you could be one of the first to use this new online system and provide us your thoughts. So if any of you happen to have that as your renewal date, we hope that you reach out to us. Thank you.
Thanks for that. And I don't see any other hands. Moderator, I believe there are no public members present. Is that correct?
Correct. No present.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 5, closing business. Do any members have suggestions for future agenda topics? If so, please use the raise hand feature. I'm just getting used to this. I don't see any raise hand, but then again, I didn't see the previous. Michelle, can you help me? Are there any,
Sure.
any raise?
I think it's just me, which I am not a member, but I do want to point out that the board has authorized the development of a task force to look at the attest versus general license types. The task force will have its first meeting in March. And as work continues on that task force and the board engages in dialogue regarding that issue of the separate authority that is given to those with a general versus attest authority, I will provide updates to this committee in our regular meetings. But of course, you're always welcome to log on and participate in our board meetings. Those are always available to you as a member of the public, but I do plan on including that information that I think you all will really want to hear about in our public meetings. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I believe that is very germane to our work. So thank you for that. Are there additional questions? And I think there are no public moderator. There are no public members or no public present.
Correct. No public present.
Okay, so this is where I believe I adjourn the meeting. So without further ado, thank you all for attending. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Michelle, can